Yo, I'm Mike, living on this kinda empty street in Portland. You know the vibe? Those streets where barely anyone's around. And sometimes you hear dogs barking way off in the distance. It was a super chilly night, like 11 p.m., and I couldn't sleep, bored out of my mind. So I was like, screw it, I'm gonna take a walk to kill this boredom. Grabbed my jacket, backpack, phone, and headed out to this cool trail behind my house. The sky was cloudy, but the full moon peeked through sometimes, throwing the silvery light through the trees. I was walking, and the dry leaves on the ground were making that annoying crunch sound. You feel me? After hiking for a bit, I hit this open spot, perfect for a breather. Sat down to chill under the cloudy, cold night. I was listening to crickets, frogs, and all those night critters, you know? Just vibing, leaning against a tree, feeling good. Then, out of nowhere, everything went dead quiet. Total silence, man. No wind, no nothing. I was like, yo, what's going on? Then I heard this weird noise from somewhere in the woods. It passed quick, so I brushed it off. Kept chilling, watching the moonlight, seeing ants hauling leaves way bigger than them, thinking, damn, how are they so strong? A few minutes later, I noticed the frogs weren't croaking as much, and the cold wind wasn't hitting my face anymore. I was like, what the hell? Again, stayed quiet, just scoping things out. Started wondering if what I was seeing is real or just my imagination. Were those shadows something creepy, or just the trees making weird shapes when the moonlight broke through the clouds? I was getting kinda freaked, but kept my eyes peeled. Then, out of nowhere, I heard another noise and saw something move off to my side, but far away. Looked over, saw nothing. My heart started racing. Another noise, closer this time, coming from behind me, followed by a howl way off in the distance. I was like, yo, are there wolves out here? Didn't move, just stayed against the tree, waiting for whatever. Then I heard voices and footsteps. Sweet, other people are here, cool. Got up, relieved, ready to meet them, but the voices just stopped. Like poof. Just the wolf howl again, but closer now. Decided to keep walking, feeling kinda nervous. A few minutes later, I froze like a statue. Heard this weird-ass voice, like an alien or something behind me. Spun around, heart in my throat, but it was just the empty trail and twisted tree branches in the moonlight. Silence came back, and I swear, my stomach was doing flips. Man, something's seriously off on this trail. After that scare, I was kinda stuck on the trail, you know? My brain was screaming, run, dumbass. But my legs wouldn't budge. Kept walking, 'cause going home was my only shot. The trail was all roots and branches, and I only had my phone's light. A full moon was up there, half covered by clouds. I didn't want to look too much, 'cause dude, I was feeling like that guy in a horror movie who gets stabbed in the first scene. Tried calming myself, like, chill, Mike, it's just the wind. But then I heard another noise, a branch snapping, off to my right. Spun around fast, but just saw some dry branches in the moonlight. Nothing human, no animals. I was like, are you kidding me? Started walking faster, nearly tripping, 'cause standing still was just asking for trouble. Heard an owl, far off, but then that voice came back. I was sweating buckets, even with the cold wind in my face. Stopped, looking around, and heard a muffled voice, like someone saying, this way. My stomach flipped. Who's messing with me? I thought. Shoved my phone in my pocket, 'cause its light was screwing me up more than helping, and used my hands to steady myself. Then crickets started up, and in the middle of it, I heard a low murmur. I froze, man. That wasn't wind, wasn't my imagination. Spun around, nearly fell, but the trail was empty. My chest was killing me, and I yelled, what the hell's going on here? Just to see if the noise would stop. Big mistake, 'cause right after, I heard a voice say, "Hey,
Hey,
Mike,"
Mike.
from behind. My brain short-circuited, 'cause I was alone, right? Started walking faster, almost running, trying not to make too much noise, but that was impossible. The trail felt like it went on forever, and the trees were getting twistier, thicker, not like when I came. The moonlight barely hit the ground, and I had this bad feeling, like, "You're screwed, Mike." Then I heard a snap, something stepping on leaves, and a weird noise came back. Stopped, looking everywhere, trying to figure it out. My hands were shaking, and I wasn't even thinking about grabbing my phone. Crickets and frogs were loud as hell now, and I swear, I heard a woman's voice say, "Run," mixed with the noise. I was losing it, dude. Tried walking a bit more, but then heard this weird noise, like a fork scraping wood, off to the side. Spun around fast, but just saw the empty trail. I was like, no way this is normal. A jumble of voices came back, faster, like a bunch of voices together. I was panting, dead tired, and heard a kid say, "Come play," in the middle of it. My brain just crashed, man. I was standing there, in the middle of the trail, heart in my throat, legs wobbly, trying not to totally lose it. A bunch of voices were screwing with me, coming from all sides, and I knew it wasn't just my head. Decided to move faster, like, I'm getting out of here right now. The full moon was disappearing behind clouds, and the trail was getting darker. The trees were closing in, and it felt like I was stuck in a nightmare, going in circles. Couldn't see much, but I got this crazy chill. What the hell's happening, I thought. The silence broke, and I thought I was safe, but then a quick murmur hit, right by my ear, mixed with the wind. Yelled, "Who's there?" But my voice came out all messed up. Started running for real, not looking back, 'cause I was freaking terrified. The trail was full of branches, and I got scratched up on my face, but I didn't care. Mid-run, I heard a woman's voice, like, Mike, come back," from behind. My brain glitched, tripped on a root, and face planted. My phone flew out of my pocket and landed a few feet away, its light flickering. I was lying there trying to breathe and heard a noise, like something hitting a tree trunk. Then came another voice, a dude laughing low, mixed with a muffled sound. Got up quick, covered in dirt, and ran to grab my phone. When I got close, a weird noise got louder, and I swear, I heard someone say, You're lost," in the middle of the cricket noise. Froze, staring at the ground. Grabbed my phone with shaky hands, its light almost dead. Then I heard a snap, like something falling in the bushes, plus a dog growling low and a wolf howl. Turned slowly, but the trail was empty. I was panting, wiped out. This ain't real, I told myself. But was it? Started walking again, slower, 'cause my legs were done. The trail was getting darker, and I was crazy lost. I was about to lose it, man. Kept my phone in my pocket, didn't even want to touch it. The woods were full of sounds now. Crickets, wind, voices, stuff falling. And I couldn't tell what was noise or what was real. Just wanted to get the hell out of there. I was moving slow now, legs shaky, done with this crap. The trail was pitch black, and the full moon was gone behind clouds, leaving just slivers of light. The air was freezing, but I was dripping sweat after that crazy run. Then I heard a new noise, something digging in the dirt, coming from some dark corner. Thought, great, now some animal's gonna get me. But I wasn't sticking around to find out. The woods were alive now, crickets going nuts, a cold wind howling. Then I got hit with this nasty, rotten smell. Nearly puked right there. Tried ignoring it, but a low murmur came back, mixed with a kid's laugh that got under my skin. The ground was wet now, sticky mud, and my sneakers were making that slop slop sound. You know, I was almost whimpering but kept going, 'cause stopping was game over. A jumble of voices got louder, and I felt hot breath on my neck. No way I was looking back, man. Not a chance. The trail was turning into a maze, with low branches smacking my forehead. Then I heard a metallic clank, like a knife hitting the ground, and a dude's voice said, "You lost, loser?"
Loser.
I snapped. Lost what, you freak? Took a step and felt something wet drip on my shoulder. Touched it, and my fingers were sticky, like blood or something. My stomach flipped, and I started running again, even though my legs were screaming, "Stop, please." A bunch of voices were screwing with me, like a messed up choir, and I heard an old lady say,
You won't escape,
poor thing."
poor thing.
Man, I was like, escape what, lady? The woods were getting thicker, and I smacked my head on a branch, seeing stars for a second. Then I heard a dog bark. Closer now. Thought, great, now I'm ghost dog chow. Stepped in a deep puddle, ice cold water up to my shins. Muttered, "What the hell is this?" and felt something brush my leg. My whole body was shaking, but I climbed out of the puddle and kept going, mud dripping from my sneakers. Then came a rattling sound, and I froze. Seriously? A snake now? I was almost out of breath, but saw a turn in the trail and thought, maybe I'm getting out of this. A bunch of voices was mixed with all kinds of sounds now. Kids laughing, a woman screaming, a dude saying bye, and I couldn't tell what was real. Everything was driving me nuts, with crickets, barks, howls, alien voices, you name it. I was like, man, this is some sick prank, but I couldn't stop. Just wanted to find the end of this damn trail before I became something snack. I hit the curve in the trail, thinking I might finally get out of this mess. My body was screaming from exhaustion, but I wasn't giving up. No way. The woods were chaotic again, crickets blaring, wind whistling like crazy, and a bark that sounded like an angry dog. Then I heard a different noise, like a drum beating slow, coming from nowhere. I was like, what, now there's natives in the woods? Took a few more steps, and the ground shook a little. A low sound came back, mixed with a woman's voice saying, "Look up now." Looked up, and I swear I saw 2 glowing fireballs in the branches. I was like, thanks, I'm totally screwed. The drum sped up, and the ground shook again. Got up and bolted, even with my soaked sneakers. Then I heard a low roar, and a huge shadow passed behind the trees. The roar turned into a scream. Tripped in a hole and smashed my knee on a rock, yelling, "Son of a bitch." The drum stopped, and I heard footsteps coming from behind. Thought, now I'm done for. Got up limping, and that rotten smell hit again, worse than before. An old lady's voice said, Welcome. Looked ahead, and the trail opened into a clearing with a lit fire pit in the center, surrounded by what looked like occult symbols. A bunch of voices was everywhere now, mixed with barks, howls, and a sound like chains dragging. I was like, man, this is a straight-up trap. Then the fireballs showed up again, coming out of the woods, and a massive shape stood in front of me. A deep, guttural man's voice yelled, "Another initiate," and the ground shook harder. I was frozen, legit paralyzed, thinking, no way I'm getting out of this. The shape came at me, and a jumble of voices filled my ears. Got swallowed in the dim moonlight, everything spinning into total blackness. Everything just vanished, like the world was gone. My head was spinning, and I felt this heavy weight on my chest, like an invisible hand holding me down. A crazy chill shot up my spine, and the jumble of voices got louder, mixed with a roar that felt like it was coming from inside me. No clue how long I was stuck in that void, but it felt like forever, man. When I woke up and opened my eyes, it was still night, and I was lying in the clearing, dizzy, sore, and feeling weird with mud on my face and my phone tossed nearby, dead. The fire pit was out. No symbols, no one around. Everything seemed normal. My right arm was red and burning like hell. And when I looked, there was a deep mark, like a weird tattoo, bleeding a bit. But what the hell happened to me? I couldn't remember jack, man. Then the woods went dead quiet again, and I got a crazy chill. Got up slowly, all messed up, and heard a roar in the darkness. Froze, disoriented, still clueless about what went down. But something freaky was messing with me. My body was ice cold, shaking, feeling weak as hell. Looked at the fire pit, and those fireballs flashed quick, with something horrifying coming at me. Felt something wild lifting me up, my body frozen in midair in the woods, arms spread, with this insane fear. Felt a crazy pain, and then,